Hey everybody, welcome back to Bookish Daddy. I hope you all had a good weekend. So, over the weekend, we got a lot of new subscribers and views from the vlog I tried out. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for giving my channel a chance, and the views went through the roof. So, I've got a bunch more vlogs in the works that I hope you're as excited about as I am. Today, I have my July wrap up. I'm going to do a family review. So, my wife and kids did their reviews of one book each for the month that they love the most. And then I have a huge book haul. So, these are not all one book haul, they're book mail, Father's Day, they're everything I've gathered over, I think it's been like 6 to 8 weeks. So it's been a minute. It's not just, I just didn't go out and get this many books at once. They're over the past 2 months, I think. But that being said, let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with July wrap up. The first book I read was The Love Wager by Lynn Painter, and I gave this book 5 stars. It's a romance novel, and it is so much fun to read. This is about a couple that ends up making a wager on who will find love first, and they are very good friends, so they're texting back and forth about their bad dates, and it's their back and forth with one another and their relationship together throughout this book, and it is so much fun. The spice level is only like, I'd say like 2 chili peppers if I had to put a rating on it. It's not a ton of spice. It's more just purely romance. So it's not super smutty, but it is a lot of fun. It's very funny and a very cute book. The next book I read was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Uh, you all picked this for me to read this month, and I DNF'd it. I'm sorry. So this is a dark academia book, and I wasn't sure what to expect. What I was expecting was like a Slytherin style, like dark in school book, and what I got was, so it is dark and it is academia, but the school they're going to is a magical surgeon school. I don't know if any of you have played Baldur's Gate, but there is a scene in there where you're in a castle with a bunch of like undead nurses mutilating corpses. That is this. I got a good ways in. I gave it, I want to say like 10 or 15 chapters. I couldn't do it. I don't know if it's uh I don't like the, it's not gore I don't like, because I like Empire of the Vampire I like a lot and it's gory. This is very descriptive medical terminology gore, and I did not enjoy it. I didn't like it at all, and that is why I DNF'd it. The next book I'm going to say is my favorite read of the month, or the past few months. One Dark Window by Rachel Galig. Oh my goodness, this book is so much fun. I give it 5 stars. I'll say 5.5 stars because it's not fair to put it on the same level with some of these others I gave 5 stars. This is a dark fantasy, uh, fairy tale-esque type book, and I don't want to give too much away. I just did a video on it that you could all go watch, my vlog of it, but it is so freaking good. It's dark, it's grim. The romance in it is super fun and spicy, and I loved this book so much. The next book you also all picked for me to read, For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, and I also DNF'd this one. So I'm starting to see a pattern where I'm very black and white. There's a lot of, if I don't like a book, I DNF it because I don't want to waste my time reading it. And then if I love it, I love it. So I give it 5 stars. I'm going to try and do better about rating between 2, 3, and 4. But this one I did give a huge chance. I read over half this book, and it was not for me. I really wanted to like this book because it is a dark fairy tale as well, and it is like a retelling of, it says it's a Red Riding Hood retelling, but it really is more of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but not well done. I didn't enjoy it, so I DNF'd it. The final book I read this month was Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff. and I gave this 5 stars too. I'm not going to go into detail on this because it's the second book in a series. I will just say that this is one of my favorite series of all time. Uh, I love it. It's dark and grim. I'm warning you, if you don't like dark, go read the trigger warnings. Really know what you're getting into before you delve into this. But if you like dark books, I don't think you're going to find much better than this. I've read some Joe Abercrombie and things like that, and to me personally, it didn't compare. I loved Jay Kristoff's writing, and this story just had me captured. I flew through these 2 books and did not want to stop, and I can't wait for the third book. I'll say this too. If you don't want to wait, if you don't like cliffhangers, the third book doesn't come out anytime soon, and I'm pretty devastated about it because these are thick books. You're going to have to push through 2 books and then maybe forget things over the next year. So be warned, the trilogy's not finished yet, but oh my goodness, these books are insane. So that does it for what I read over the last month, or yeah, last month. I'm going to do my family's, their favorite books they read over the last month, and I will start with my wife. Her book was Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole, and this is the cover. It is the second book in a trilogy. No, not a trilogy. It's a big series, but it is the second book. This is a romantasy and a lot of court politics, from what I hear, and a lot of good romance and slow burn. I have heard that if you like Throne of Glass, you will love these books. I have heard nothing but amazing things about them. She's obsessed with it, and they are thick, floppy, velvety boys. And this is her favorite read of the month. The next book is going to be Sniff. Sniff, A Dog Named Sniff by Jenny Phillips. And this is by my youngest daughter. And she says, I like A Dog Named Sniff because the pup is so soft and cute, and because they love each other. I gave it 5 stars, and she drew a little picture of Sniff and the little girl. So that's a 5-star read. If you like puppies and you have kids that are between the ages of, say, 5 to 10, you have to get them Sniff. The next is my oldest daughter, and she did Dragon Masters Rise of the Earth Dragon by Tracy West, and that is this book. So she wrote, I like Dragon Masters because I love the fantasy, the friendship. I also like wizards, castles, gems, dragons, and magic. I for sure give it a 5-star book. Here's a dragon and a dragon gem. Here's her dragon and her dragon gem right there. So these are 2 5-star reads. Well, 3, the third one as well. If your wife or you yourself like romantasy, slow burn, and new and upcoming authors, try out Spark of the Everflame as the first in the series. And if you have daughters, maybe sons would probably like it, 5 to 10. They all like the same stuff. Go ahead and grab one of those books. Now I will get into the book haul, which is extensive, so it's a big one. The first book is The Whisper Wicks, The Labyrinth of Lost and Found by Jordan Lees. This is this beautiful book. This was in the kids section. It has to be for like young teenagers, like 13, I would assume, because it has like it looks like dead people or walking corpses, minotaurs, magic, and a maze that a little boy, 11-year-old boy, gets lost in and has to find his way out. It seems like it's more of a like nightmare-esque kid book, maybe something along the lines of Nightmare Before Christmas is kind of what it looks like, but that's this book. Next is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I think that's how you say her last name. This book with sprayed edges. This is about video games, and I love video games, and it has romance in it, and it had pretty sprayed edges, so that's pretty much why I got this book. is anything with video games or Dungeons and Dragons, anything nerdy, I'm probably going to grab. The next is a trilogy that my wife got as book mail by Holly Jackson, and it is a YA thriller, YA mystery. The A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and here they are. Beautiful books. I don't know much about, but mysteries and thrillers aren't really my thing. I'll let her read these and see how she likes them, and then I'll let you know if I'm going to read them or not. I have seen lots of reviews on these books, though. They're supposed to be phenomenal books. Next was our YA Fairy Loot book, and it is Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Bayron. And that is this beautiful book. And the inside cover of this is beautiful. This is a Snow White retelling, I believe. Snow White. I guess I should have known from the apple on the front, but it's been a long time since I've watched a old Disney princess movie. My daughters are more into Bluey and SpongeBob, Pokemon, stuff like that than princesses anymore. The next set my wife also got. I already showed you the second book. This is the first and third, and it is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. And like I said before, this is a trilogy that is romantasy, slow burn. Oh, again, not a trilogy, as my wife chimed in back there. So it is a series that is still ongoing. It hasn't been finished yet. We just have the first 3 books because that's all that's out. And that is these beautiful books. Oh, that one's really pretty. You can see that. So go support Penn Cole. I don't think you can get these copies anymore. If you do, she says she's super sweet and nice. She's been talking to this author. I don't think you can get these covers anymore. If you, yeah, just the first 2. So if you find them, I would snag them up. They're beautiful, and she's getting an editor, so her book covers will change and published. So the next book is Funny Story by Emily Henry. This is a romance novel that my wife got, and I don't know much about it. I just know that if there's a new romance out by Emily Henry or what's her name, Abby Jimenez, we're usually going to grab it. The next book is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. And that is this book. This is another beach read. I saw this. It's summertime. We were going to the beach, and I wanted to grab a beach book or a summer book, and so that's why this romance book got grabbed. Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. So our local Barnes & Noble every month does the monthly picks, and this was on the table. It had beautiful sprayed edges, and it said that it was a lot like Fourth Wing or other big-name dragon books. So, of course, we grabbed it. We love fantasy. We love dragons and romance and romantasy. So that is why we grabbed this book. The next book is Beach Read by Emily Henry. And my wife got this to read on the beach, but never found the time. So she hasn't got a chance to read it yet, but that's why we ended up getting this one, is she wanted a good romance to read on the beach. And what better to read than beach read? She hasn't got a chance to read it yet. Hopefully soon. This next big boy, we had been waiting for quite some time to get. It's When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker. We have heard phenomenal things about this fantasy book. Everyone has been talking about it. It's enormous. And it's about assassins. We finally got the chance to snag it at Barnes & Noble and went ahead and grabbed it. These next 2 books I got as book mail. A friend of mine on Instagram sent them. It is The Bone Witch is the first one by Rin Chapeko. And all I know about this book is it is about a necromancer, and it is a fantasy novel. I think it's romantasy. I just know that it is about a witch that resurrects the dead and accidentally resurrects the wrong person. And it has a beautiful cover. I've been wanting this for quite some time. It was on my list of books, and he grabbed it for me. The next one I got in book mail was Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. I love Trisha Levenseller and her books. This one is about powerful wizards, and it is fantasy as well. I am super, super excited about this one. It has a lot to do with anxiety and society, and a basically someone who forges weapons, a blacksmithy who she has social anxiety, and so she likes to stay in her forge away from everyone, and she gets summoned to make a magical blade for a Dark Lord, is what this is about. I really want to read this soon. It sounds so good. It's got little shiny things on the cover too. They're pretty cool. All right, these next four I got were for Father's Day, and I just never got a chance to show them off. The first one is a Dawn of Onyx. This says it is a YA fantasy, but that there is a ton of spice in it. Ashlyn Gubelli says that she liked this book a lot, and she's not huge into spice, so she skipped a couple pages. But I think that says a lot about this book if she enjoyed it and doesn't even care for spice. So if you want spice, I'm betting this is an insane romantasy. I want to read it very soon. The next one I got for Father's Day was Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller. Again, I just talked about her. She's one of my favorite authors. And this one, oh yeah, is about a teenage daughter who gets kicked out by her dad and has to go live in the forest by herself for a while and kind of take care of herself. The next one I got was Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. And a quick overview of this is it is a romantasy about a seer who she thinks it's funny to get what she wants by lying to people about what she's seeing in their future and twisting it to get what she wants. And it all comes back to bite her in the butt. That is basically what this is about. It's super floppy too. And then the last book I got for Father's Day is Forged by Magic by Jenna Wolfhart. And I have read this. I did a review on this, and it is one of my favorite romantasies I have ever read. There are more books in the series that I'm going to get soon, hopefully. It is freaking cute, y'all. If you like cozy fantasies, it does not get cozier than this. It is. I was telling my wife that this is a lot like playing Skyrim if someone threw in a ton of romance and cute comedy. It is so much fun to read. And I could have read all these books in one sitting. It was a blast. One of my favorite reads of the year. These next two books, my wife got because she is on a Brandon Sanderson Cosmere kick, and it is Elantris, which is Brandon Sanderson's first published book. And the one she's most excited about, I would say, is The Way of Kings. She has been waiting to get her hands on this forever in paperback, and our Barnes & Noble just didn't have it. We are both very picky with spines and everything being like perfect and pretty, so we don't like to order books online, so we go to local bookstores, and nowhere has had this. So I'm sure you both have heard of these books. I'm not going to go into them. I'm just going to say that they are a part of the Cosmere that she has been waiting to get her hands on. The next book is a cozy fantasy called I Ran Away to Evil, and it is by Mystic Neptune. This book is freaking cute, and I cannot wait to read it. My wife won this in a bet. She got dared to do something and did it. And this was her reward. It sounds so freaking good. So, a reluctant heroine finds unexpected love when she's sent to assassinate a lonely Dark Lord. I won't say any more. I think I posted a video if you're following me on Instagram. The one thing I did want to say that I thought was super cool about this book is it has character stats. So every time you meet a new character, there's a character sheet like in a video game that gives all their stats, name, occupancy, where they're from, and I just think that is the coolest thing ever. The next is my Father's Day gift from my wife, and it was the best book I've gotten. It is Empire of the Vampire, which is my favorite book right now. It is a signed by the author edition. It is beautiful. It has the black edges. It has beautiful, beautiful artwork. The book itself is gorgeous, and I could go on a huge tangent about these books again, but I'm not going to. Again, if you like dark books, you have to get your hands on these. But again, she got me this. I love it. It's so beautiful, and it'll just sit on my bookshelf. I'm never gonna like crack it open. All right, the next book I think I've gone over in a previous video. I just don't remember, so I'm just gonna say it again. It's Dreadful by Caitlin Rozakis. This is another cozy fantasy book that is supposed to be funny, a lot of comedy in it. It's got little onions and wizards, and I think they're onion goblins and wizards. It's supposed to be super cute and fun and funny. This one, I mean, it's obvious why we got this. I love cozy fantasies, and it is a beautiful book with sprayed edges, so that's why I got that one. The next one, I went to a blind date with a book, and this is the book that I won. It is The Selection by Kiera Cass. That's this book right here. This is I think it's a fantasy bachelor I want to say it's in medieval times, but I don't know 100%. I just know it's a fantasy bachelor book. So if you like watching The Bachelor or Bachelorette and you like fantasy, this is right up your alley. This is what you'll want. This is what I won, and I actually stole it from another girl, so I wanted it and got it. Next is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. Here is that book. This is a Little Mermaid retelling, and I believe it is an adult fantasy. It could be YA, but I think it's adult. And I got this because I love Disney retellings, or really just retellings in general. Earlier, I talked about The Little Red Riding Hood and Beauty and the Beast. This one I'm super excited about. The Little Mermaid's one of my favorite Disney cartoons, so this will be fun. If We Were Villains by ML Rio. This was book mail to my wife. I don't know anything about it, so that's where it came from. These next three were also book mail to my wife. Oh, a giveaway she won. That's what it was. So she won a giveaway on Instagram, and it is Lightlark, Nightbane, and then the person who gave her these books threw in the Red Queen for fun. And that is these books. They are super pretty, and I don't know much about them. Lightlark and Nightbane I know have been on our TBR for quite some time, or at least my wife's. I know they're fantasy, and I know that she won them, and that's about all I know about them. As far as the Red Queen, she got a special edition book that is gorgeous, gorgeous book, very pretty, and that is the last book of the book haul. I know it was a lot to get through, but I just wanted to kind of show you what I've gotten over the past couple months. If there's any of these that you would love to see me read or that you have thoughts on, throw it down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on it and talk back and forth with you. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I would love, if you haven't, click the subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends. And again, thank you all so much for watching my content, and I hope you've been enjoying it. I've got some big videos and vlogs planned, and I can't wait to show them to you. Have a good week.